Pop Gen Fusion!
Hello everyone, welcome back to Pop Gen Fusion. I'm Gary Gift II, aka OKAMI. And today we're going to do something a little bit different. Our regularly scheduled podcast, our unregularly scheduled podcast, will be back and we will continue to do that. But today I want to do something a little bit different. Let's call this Pop Gen Fusion Display. Now, in order to be the best that we can be at the things that we do, writing, voiceover, art, we were all fans once. So I wanted to take this opportunity to do Pop Gen Fusion Display to talk about the things that we're fans of and show little knickknacks and collectibles that we've had over the years of our fandom. As you can see in our last episode of Pop Gen Fusion, Mrs. M.M. Smart, she showed a little bit of her collection and her love for the women of DC Comics, particularly Black Canary. So today I wanted to talk about some of my fandoms, and there are a lot of them. So I want to focus on one particular fandom of today. Now, if you may have been paying attention, you may know that we all wear we wear lots of hats in Moonlayer Studios and Command Grab Multimedia. I'm a voiceover artist, but I'm behind the camera. I'm doing editing and video editing. But one of the things I also do is I'm a writer. I am writing a series for Moonlayer Studios known as Tenkai Tenjin. Now, Tenkai Tenjin is fusing of a lot of different fandoms that I have, but the main fandom that it's surrounded is Sentai. Now, in Japanese, that means task force. When you think Sentai in Japanese, you think of Super Sentai, which means like Power Rangers. Or like in anime form, it would be like Sailor Moon, Ronin Warriors, aka Yorodin Samurai Troopers, or Saint Seiya. Now, even on the Western side, I had things like the Centurions, Captain Planet and the Planeteers, and so forth. But one of the main groups that I love and my favorite groups of all time is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I got into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in about the late 80s, early 90s TV show. I never really read the Mirage comics up until that point. I have since then plenty of times, and I have some issues myself. But I started off as a kid and I was watching it and I was blown away. That's like every other child my age. I'm pretty sure Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have inspired a whole generation of kids to eat pizza. It produced a lot of clones like Biker Mice from Mars, Street Sharks. There was even this other one called T-Rex, which I kind of like. And I've always liked the aspects of crews and teams and specialized forces and, X-Men, Thundercats, Justice League, that kind of thing. And I've always liked anthropomorphic animals and stuff like that, like going back to, Rescue Rangers and DuckTales and all that kind of stuff. Except Captain Bucky O'Hare, because that is a scary looking rabbit. Look at his eyes, So let's take a look at some of these guys right here, Donnie and Raph. And I think by the time of this recording, the Mutant Mayhem movie has come out. So I wanted to celebrate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So we have Donnie and Raph, excuse me. I wanted to get Leo and Raph as a child, never did. I wonder if I could find them on eBay. I should look for those just to complete the set. Now, I've been a fan for a long time. I had, like I said, I didn't read the Mirage comics as a kid. I read them as I got older. And my first experience with them being a little bit more gritty was the first Ninja Turtles movie, which can kind of combine the cartoon a little bit with more of the Mirage stuff. And hearing them Raph be a lot more angry for the first time really kind of threw me off. But I've since been, a fan of all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles concepts. Well, not all of them, but I've seen everything Turtles. So I wanted to celebrate some of the collectibles I have. I have a lot more than what I have before you today, but I'm just kind of just displaying. The point of this is to kind of like talk about our fandoms and what they mean to us. So one of the recent things that I got was this thing right here, and scalpers apparently were getting their hands on it. It is an Eastman and Laird Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles set with figures. As you can see on the front, it has that Kevin Eastman type of art. But once you look at the actual figures themselves, it has that Michael Dooney kind of style. Now, to me, Michael Dooney is the quintessential Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book artist. My first actual experience with him wasn't the Mirage comic book, but it was actually the adaptation of the movies in comic book form. I had seen the movie, but I remember seeing the movie adaptation. That was a thing back in the day. I don't know if it is now, where a hit movie would have a comic book adaptation, especially if it's based on like a comic book property or a cartoon property. I bought the Teenage, I have it, I have probably misplaced it, but it had the first, there was one for the first movie and the second movie, maybe the third movie, I never got that one. But because of that, I know the lines of the first two movies very well, just because I've seen it a lot of times, but also they had a lot of, I think almost word for word, they had the lines in the movie in the comic book. So, seeing like Michael Dooney's art in that display was my first kind of experience. I didn't know he did Mirage, because up until that point I hadn't read the Mirage books. So it's pretty cool to see this art in that form. As you can see, they're all wearing red. Shout out to B-.
What do you mean, like, didn't they always have the different color bandana? Like, that's who they are.
Nope, they all wore red initially. They all wore red.
Wait.
They all wore red at first. All wore this color right here. And eventually, well, in the cartoon, they made them more colorful, but I think eventually that kind of became the norm in going forward in all the aspects of the Turtles. Now, I have a few comics here right now. Like right now, the current run is the IWD comics of the, I believe, this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles universe, and this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think is this number one? Yes, number one of the IWD run, which is the current run, which is basically, it combines a lot of the stuff that you see from all the different Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles lore, and it kind of puts it into the book. I'm talking about having from Krang and Neutrinos to the Triceratons to Bebop and Rocksteady to the Purple Dragons. Like, it has everything that kind of combines it, and it does a really good job of, like, even though it incorporates the whole, all of them wearing red, but then having colors, it incorporates all of that. But my first experience with the comic book world was actually the Archie comics, which started off as kind of like a continuation of the 80s, 90s cartoon, but then it kind of went on and did its own thing. It actually got a little bit more mature, and it's actually my favorite run. And they discontinued it, but I think there was some fan thing that kind of continued it. But this is one of the issues right here. Let's see, right here, this is Raphael fighting this fox girl. She looks very angry at him, but that's in fact his girlfriend. I think this is actually the issue where they broke up. Of course, back then, comic books do it today, where they would put a cover up there. They would really just kind of make you think one thing's happening, but really it's something else. They didn't fight. They fought verbally, but they didn't fight. They didn't fight physically, not to my record. There he goes, giving her the last kiss goodbye. Her name was Ninjara, and I thought she was a very good character. She was very much like a warrior kind of character, very honorable talking. I believe she was Japanese as well, but she talked like that. She was very proper, and I guess she fell in love with the bad boy Raph. Yeah, they was having their final conversation here, and they get that last kiss goodbye. They end up in this village, and Raph sees him, old boy talking to her, and and he's all like super calm and whatever. And then Raph like, nah, bruh, talk to my girl. You know what I'm saying? And then they just kind of start wrecking. You know what I'm saying? I like the Archie run is my favorite run. Like the IWD current run is really good, but the Archie run is my favorite. This is another cover of them. See, a little bit more cuddly together. They did actually a really cool end the run where they did what's it called? It was the Cyber Samurai Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This was like a bleak future where the turtles are older, and they kind of have this like samurai armor that they make, that Donnie makes, of course, and they kind of fight in there. They're like all like adults, and like Leo is of course he's a ninja master and he has students of his own. Raph, he's like missing an eye. It's not quite as gritty as The Last Ronin is, which is the current big story that's going on right now, which is pretty cool. But it was still jarring at the time because Master Splinter was long dead, and the New York was kind of like partly underwater. It was kind of crazy, but it was pretty good. Right here, I also have the short-lived Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run that if you see the art, it was done by LaShawn. You see it says LaShawn, which is LaShawn Thomas. He is known for Cannon Busters, the creator of Cannon Busters, and he's also the guy who didn't give me my Kickstarter money back. I'm still waiting, LaShawn. Hopefully we'll do business together, at some point. That would be cool. But yeah. But yeah, my love for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I love groups. I love seeing the different personalities. And it was cooler because these guys are brothers. And me having a good relationship with my brother and friends that are like brothers, it's really kind of like cool to see. When I was, as you can see, I have a couple of figures here that I brought out. This is like the changing Leo, where you can change him back to a baby turtle. I don't want to do it because it like takes some doing. And as you can see, we got hip hop Michelangelo. Mike been about the culture. You know what I'm saying? You definitely see it more in the new movie. There's a lot of hip hop influence going on. It's like rock and hip hop. It's always been rock and hip hop in Turtles because that's what teens like. Whatever was hot for teens at the time, that's what they made the Turtles. So
With the backyard. We outside.
You anybody who complains about Turtles not being like, they're doing the hip hop thing. No, that's youth culture, right there. And we have Billy Lee randomly. I pulled out because I love Billy Lee and Double Dragon, but that's another story. But to further look at this cool thing, this story behind this thing is scalpers are really trying to get their hands on this thing. And we're trying to, they was selling this exclusively at Target. And I was calling and trying to get it. And every time they would hold my copy, or they were supposed to get my copy, they would call me back and say, hey, somebody got it. So I was like trying to chase it down, like one Saturday, I was trying to chase it down after I heard that scalpers were trying to get it. I don't know if there are copies left, but I think there was one that was near me that my friend told me there was plenty of left, but they might be all gone now. That was like weeks ago. But yeah, I'm really happy with this. I'm probably going to open it at some point when I'm behind the display case. Should I? I don't know. But I don't know. I'm thinking about doing it, but because that's always the conundrum with having like figures. Like, do you open them? Do you display them? But like, they shouldn't just sit in a box, right? Like, I'm not planning to resell it, right? I want it for me. So, but yeah, I love groups. I love the aspect of the different personalities, and just seeing how they meshed well together. And you'll see that in Tenkai Tenjin when that drops, and that's going to be really fun. So that was, just my little bit of rundown, some of the turtle stuff that I have, a little bit of my fandom, and you'll get to see a lot more from me, MM, and Pandio coming soon. And until next time, guys, later days and cool summers. Peace.